After stepping down as leader of the group during a time of peace, Rick Grimes is thrust back into action as the group faces threats living and non-living. This is my review of The Walking Dead Season 4. I couldn't wait for Season 4 of The Walking Dead to come because after the events in Season 3 of The Walking Dead, it was like, holy crap, where does the series go from here? Because a lot of stuff, well, some stuff happened in Season 3 finale, but it's like, holy crap, like, how can the show be better now? Because if you guys don't know, and if you didn't check out my Season 3 review of The Walking Dead, then you should know that I think that Season 3 is still the best season for the series so far. Yeah, so after seeing Season 4 of The Walking Dead, I have to tell you that it was a little bit disappointing for the follow-up season from Season 3 into Season 4, and I thought that Season 4 was alright. The good points. So the three main good points about this season, as always still, are the directing, acting, and writing. Well, I guess this season I can say that I only liked half of the writing. The half of the writing that I thought was good was with the character development, with the characters that we already know from Season 1. And I can't believe that they're still developing these characters even though we've known them since Season 1. I mean, it's hard sometimes to like develop even more and more like throughout the seasons with a character that we already know like a lot about from the first season. But I also thought that characters that are new for the season are really interesting, and I would like to see like where their stories go in the seasons to follow. And even though I think that some of the writing was bad, I thought that the writing was still consistent with the themes that have always been in the series. The tones are still consistent with the directing, and the acting, in my opinion, is still top-notch in this season. Another good point is that they step up the makeup again this season, and I swear that each season they step up the makeup because they know that, as each season goes by, more time goes by, and like I said in my past reviews, they know that these walking corpses are just going to be deteriorating and be rotting away. Even though I thought that this season is the weakest season of The Walking Dead, I think that this is the darkest season. Because there are some situations that happen in this season that are like, oh my god, I can't believe it. And I'll get to those darker moments later on in the spoiler section. And the final good point I can say about this season of Walking Dead is that I thought the ratio between the dramatic scenes and action scenes were really good. I thought that they handled that ratio well still this season. The bad points. The thing that I think was the downfall for this season of The Walking Dead was some of the writing. Like I said in good points, I thought half of the writing was good, and I thought the other half was like, okay, there could have been a little bit of tweaking done throughout like all the episodes to make them feel like more paced. And that's the other thing, like the pacing in some of the episodes was a little bit bad because there were some parts where I thought like, oh my god, like come on, let's keep it going here, like keep the ball going. And I have no idea if that has to do with the writing of the episodes or the directing of the episodes. Because like I said in the good points, I thought for the most part the directing was good, but I thought that there were some instances with the directing where I was like, okay, that could have been done a little bit better for the pacing. But I don't think the acting had nothing to do with the pacing issues because I thought the acting was top-notch. Yeah, but back to the writing. So the writing, I thought in some scenes of the episodes, and even some episodes, I thought were filler. And not filler in a good way, because there's good filler and there's bad filler. And the reason I thought it was bad was because even though they were developing some of these characters, I thought that it didn't pertain with the situation in some of the episodes or some of the scenes. Because it's like, okay, I like how we're developing this character, but can it somehow pertain to this scene or this episode so that we can get it? And don't get me wrong, there's some points where there is good filler where the character development is tied in with the scene or with the episode, but I just found there were many instances throughout the season where I thought the character development was separate from the episode or that scene. Another thing that I thought was bad for the season was that they killed off this character that I thought could have been used better for future seasons, or could have been used for future conflicts in the series. But I'll get to that in the spoilers section later on. The final bad point I have to say about this season of The Walking Dead is the season finale episode, because I found this season finale episode to be worse than the season 3 season finale episode. Because in the season 3 season finale episode, like, they set some stuff up where it's like, okay, I like where that's going. I mean, even though those parts are like really bad in this episode, I thought that like it was really good in the season 3 finale episode that they set some stuff up where it's like, okay, I like to see where that goes into the next season. While in the season 4 finale episode, it's like, really, you're gonna like leave us off here? And it's like, I don't know, I just felt weird that they left off the season where they did. And I think the reason is because you can see what's going to happen and it's predictable. So really what I'm trying to say is that the mystery of like what's going to happen at the beginning of season 5 is sort of a little bit predictable. But once again, I'll get to that in the spoiler section when I talk about it more. Okay, ratings for The Walking Dead Season 4. My dad gives this season a 3 out of 4 stars, while I give it a 2.5 out of 4 stars. Like I said, I thought it was a disappointing follow-up season from Season 3 into Season 4. I thought that most of the problems with this season had to do with the writing, mostly. But I still think it's worth your time and you should still watch it. Alright, spoilers for The Walking Dead Season 4. If you haven't seen The Walking Dead Season 4 or any of The Walking Dead seasons, then you should get out because I'm going to be spoiling for you. I mean, hello, spoilers. Okay, let's talk about the major deaths of this season. So the first major death I want to talk about is with Herschel, because I knew in a way that he was going to die, because he made this big speech a few episodes before he died where it's like, oh my god, like, because usually when people make big speeches on The Walking Dead, they usually die either in that season or the next season. And when I heard Herschel do that speech, I was like, oh no, not Herschel. And when the mid-season finale came, and when Governor got the katana, or Michonne's katana, and like held it to Herschel's head, I was like, oh no, Herschel. Rick was doing a good job trying to calm the Governor down, but even when Governor was like putting the sword down, I knew he was still gonna do it. And when Governor was like, liar, and like swung the katana at Herschel's head, I was like, no. And the worst part about it was that he didn't get all the way through. He got like a third in, and Herschel was bleeding to death. And I was like, oh, come on. And then when the firefight is happening, Herschel like crawls away, and then the Governor comes back to finish the job, and he takes like another 3 swings at his neck. And it's like, holy crap. Okay, the next major death is in the same episode, the mid-season finale episode, and is with the Governor. And it happens when Michonne comes back with the katana and stabs through the Governor's back and like through his chest, and Michonne leaves him bleeding so that he can like slowly die to death. But then the girlfriend of the Governor comes, and I believe her name was Lily. But anyways, she shoots him because she's mad that her daughter died when he wasn't there. And I know some people that were mad about the Governor dying. I was like, well, he served his purpose in The Walking Dead. I thought I couldn't see like where else his story arc could go. And I also thought that The Walking Dead needed fresh villains for the series. Alright, so the last major deaths I want to talk about are with Lizzie and Mika. Man, that episode, The Grove, I think it's called, yeah, that was the darkest episode of The Walking Dead and of any television show that I've ever seen. Because you see Lizzie go crazy and it's like, oh my gosh, she's gonna do something bad, isn't she? But then Lizzie was calming down. I was like, oh, okay, everything's gonna be okay. But no, when Carol and Tyrese come back from picking food or something, they find Lizzie standing up, her hands all bloody from a distance, and it's like, what's going on? And then when they get closer, you can see that Lizzie killed Mika, and I was like, ah! And the thing is, she didn't hurt the brain because she wanted to see Mika come back to life as a walker. Because Lizzie is in this mindset where she thinks that they're not different from one another, like humans and walkers, they're not different at all. And then the day after, Carol kills Lizzie when she's looking at the grove, and man, that was a disturbing scene. I mean, I knew it had to happen, and a lot of people knew it had to happen also, because Lizzie was mentally unstable, and she couldn't be helped. And Carol and Tyrese weren't going to leave her behind so that she could turn into a walker, or be picked up by another group of survivors, because Lizzie might kill them. Okay, so the death I was mad about this season was with the new character Joe, which was seen a little past the mid-season finale. I forgot what episode it was, but it was an episode or two after the mid-season finale, and we get to know this character, and he seems like he could be the next governor, like the next villain in this series. But unfortunately, this is not going to happen because Rick bites his neck off, and his artery in his neck starts to burst out with blood, and he dies within seconds. And it's like, well, that's a waste of a possibly good villain in the future. But okay, sure, writers. And the last bad point I'll say is with the season finale episode, because it was really predictable about what was going to happen, because they're hearing about a safe haven called Terminus, and how it's a surviving camp, and how they're survivors in Terminus and everything. And it's like, wow, this does not sound really good, because they're saying that they're good, and the episode before the finale, once half of the group gets to Terminus, it's like, yeah, nothing is suspicious at all with just this one lady in this huge courtyard cooking food for them. Yeah, that is not suspicious at all. And in the season finale episode, we find out that Terminus is not what we expected it to be. Whoa! Big surprise! Not. And when the people of Terminus put the group in this train car, and when Rick says they messed with the wrong people, it's like, wow, I wonder what's going to happen in the next season, in the beginning of the 5th season. I mean, you can obviously see that they're going to take over Terminus or something, or burn it to the ground, or escape it. I would have liked to have seen a mystery element to it. I would have liked to have seen if the people of Terminus were good to them at first, and they were caring for them and everything, and then they can end the season finale with a bunch of walkers coming towards Terminus, and both of the groups are fighting the walkers, and they're like, man, you're good, and people at Terminus are like, yeah, you too, and they get along, and then you can end the season for the season there somehow. And in the beginning of the 5th season, it's the day after they got to Terminus, and they start to build up mystery. The writers start to build up mystery for us, the viewers. But this goes back to my bad point, which is the writing. I mean, the last few episodes I thought could have been structured differently and written differently so that mystery could have been built. But no, they just go for the simple, predictable ending, and I was mad about that. So that was my review for The Walking Dead Season 4. Hope you guys liked it. And other than that, that's it.